Welcome to Swing Trading and Coffee. My name is Anthony, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the top stocks that I have purchased this week as a swing trade into year end. And I'm also going to show you my personal swing trading plan on the charts. But before we get into it, this content is not financial advice. It is only meant for educational purposes. Do your own research and trade responsibly at your own risk. Guys, this week is expected to be really volatile with a number of catalysts. China trade talks coming back, the government shutdown rumored to be ending or not. And also, we have earnings. So before we get into the top stock picks, we have to take a look first at what the market is doing. So let's open up the chart on the SPY. So looking at the SPY, the first thing you notice here is that we have made our way back up into the channel. So if you found a way to weather the storm here and you did well, congratulations, guys. Like I was saying before, in my past couple of videos, this whole thing was just so blown out of proportion. And, we came back down to test this major support level here, and we bounced right off of it. Now, there's one level that I really want to point out to you guys, because this one is really important. It's this point of control here at 663. So this is the high volume area where it acted as support later on, and it wicked up off here, and then it acted as resistance as we were trying to come up, but it broke through it. So this would be my line in the sand. As long as we are above 663, I find it very believable that the estimates analysts are giving us for a $700 SPY by year's end kind of makes sense. And if you just expand this channel upward here, you'll see that if we maintain the same trajectory within the channel, we could hit this target from between 10th of November and 22nd of December. So that actually works really well with the predictions analysts are giving. I am actually quite heavy on my long positions now. I have been accumulating the past couple of days in this area, which I told you guys is an accumulation zone, likely for institutions. And to back that up, we are seeing on the options flow a lot of big multi-million dollar transactions on options. Majority of them are calls on many of the stocks, and it's looking really bullish at this point. And what really happened here is we had a big leverage flush. Everybody was leveraged at the top. And, when bad news came out, it all unwound very fast. But leverage unwinds tend to happen quickly and resolve quickly. They don't play out for weeks and months, from my understanding. First on my list is Meta, and I will explain to you. I know there's a lot on the chart here, but it's actually quite simple. We had this long-term upwards movement here. And now what's happening is we are forming another, you guessed it, bull flag. And this is a recurring theme on many of the charts. Some stocks have broken out of this bull flag. Some are still stuck in it. Some have fallen back into it. And I'll show you examples of all of that. So the cool thing here about Meta is you had a really big move and you had a really big pullback. And if you kind of extend that using the Fibonacci extensions, it'll give you, targets around 847 to 884. And I may have drawn it the first time a little bit more conservatively than I did now. But here I have it marked that we got the 0.618 at 855. And this is my main target. I do need to see this, though, break out of these EMAs right here, the 1321 and the 50. We've already used one as support, and we have broken the first, and now we're tagging into the second. This is at the top is the 50. That's your slowest EMA. And this level here is also the support level. So we have a bit of resistance here. I only got a small position in Meta. If it starts to break out of here, especially if we see a big candle breaking out of this long-term flag, then I can consider going in just a little bit more heavy, adding to the position, turning it into a full-size position, depending on the momentum and the volume. Next up, we got Micron. This one has been an absolute dream to trade. It's just so, everything was just on it, was textbook breakout of resistance. You go long, you get rewarded. Here's the first one down here. You had this resistance level, and once you broke out of it, that was your signal to take a long. You had your second candle above here for confirmation, which is usually where I add, and then you wrote, you wrote it up as much as you possibly could until you scaled out enough and it pulls back on you and you stop out. I did not catch the first one. I did catch the second one, and this one was absolutely beautiful. Now, I got out of Micron around this area here once we started to pull back and find resistance. I believe there was a Fibonacci level here, which I used to scale out. So now that it popped above that next resistance line, we had two candles, one for the breakout, one for confirmation. I got in on the second candle, and I got in on it a little bit aggressively with short options that are expiring end of week. It did give a nice pop, but there was a little bit of decay in the options over the weekend, so I'm not up much on this one. However, I have targets here at 215 and 255. These are your short-term targets for the trade, but if you are looking into year's end, this is the moonshot target here. This is your 1.618 fib. When you have a very powerful move, it can make it up to this level. So that is my end of year target, and it's actually probably not that far off. If you measure it about 20%, yeah, it's a decent size move, but given the volatility we've been seeing in Micron and this incredible move, I think it's going to make it by end of December. Of course, again, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you how I am trading. You do your own research and decide what works for you according to your portfolio, your risk tolerance, and your skill level and experience. Next up, we got CRM. This one is getting ready. This is a hot one. I see a lot of chatter about decent options flow came in on this one. So if you zoom out, you'll see that we had a big correction from all the way top here in January. This move took us down about 37%. So yeah, this got beat down pretty bad after we had a double top formation here. Now, there is this yellow trend line that you can put down here, and this was a downtrend, and it's kind of like a channel. But the important thing is the downward sloping trend line here. Now, we tried to peek out of it once and failed. And look, when we broke the trend line, when we bounced off the trend line, what happened? We had a colossal move to the downside. Really bad move. So now we're tagging it a second time, and then a third time, and a fourth time. Actually, we're out of the channel, so this is technically the breakout already. But what we are tagging here at the yellow arrow is a previous area of resistance. And the way I think this is going to play out, it's like a W double bottom formation. You go up and down like that. And then when you reverse to the upside, you get about the height of the W here, from here to this peak. And you can extend that upwards. It'll give you an estimate on it. We can do that measurement right now. I don't remember it off the top of my head. So let's just measure it here to here. That's about 2485. You could do it another way. You could draw a line, and you could just extend it up here. So this would be my first target on this. It does not mean that it has to end there. It just means that this is a level to watch out for. So there it is, 279 for CRM. And if we can get through this resistance area, we are actually should have a lot of room to the upside. So this could play out really well if it gains momentum. To me, it seems that this has bottomed out. It just needs to start curling to the upside and breaking through some of these minor resistance levels. Next, we got SMCI. This one is doing something kind of similar to what Micron did earlier, that we had this area here of resistance. And as you can see, when we zoom in, we had all these rejections off of it here, and then here it finally broke out. So if you took a long off of this breakout line, you got rewarded very nicely here with a big move to the upside. I did manage to catch this, but I got a little bit impatient and market was getting a little shaky, and I took the position off. I scaled out a little bit here and a little bit up here. I didn't catch the full move, but that's okay. Now, the reason this move was so important is that you had this big gap here, and gaps have about a 70-ish% chance of being filled. Now, when you fill a gap, you typically come back down to the downside. And that's another reason that I decided I'm going to get out and see how it behaves. We have a bounce here off the 21 EMA, which is your first sign to consider a long. You have an upward trend, you pull back to the 21, and then you have your confirmation candle here. It's a little hard to see, but this is a confirmation candle. So I am back in SMCI, trying to play the next breakout level. This level here, it corresponds. The reason I drew it a little bit low is it corresponds with this one right here. And you can see that it is reacting off of the level. It hit it and it wicked below it. So this level is in play. It just has to clear it. And then our next target is blue skies up to $75. If this can break through this level here and this one, 75 is very much within reach. And if you zoom out, you'll notice that in the grand scheme of things, this type of move, this is actually pretty small compared to the insane volatility that SMCI has. If this thing can break out, it's going to go really high, really fast. It's just the way the stock behaves. Now, for all these trades, you always got to ask yourself, where am I wrong? And for the SMCI, my absolute line in the sand would be this previous resistance that we broke, which is now support. If this comes down and breaks below it, I'm out of the trade. Also for CRM, very tight stop down here, and you got all this room to the upside. So in all your trades, you have to look at your risk versus reward ratio. 2-to-1 is always preferred. Better than 2-to-1 is excellent. Next up, this one is one of my favorites right now. I actually just added into Tesla the other day. Also, I did put out a full video on Tesla's earnings, the forecast, and the important things that we are watching out for as the earnings call approaches. They're going to be looking at margins and forward guidance. I don't think earnings per share is that important. It's more of a focus on the forward direction of Tesla, what's going to happen in the future. If you want to know more about it, you can find it. It's the last video I posted from yesterday, and I'm going to link it at the end of the video. Now, what has Tesla done today is that we had this box zone here, which is like a resistance. And sometimes when you knock into resistance a couple times, it rejects you, but you'll just gap above it and continue going. And that's pretty much what it did. And we have a whole bunch of things on the calendar for this week that could move the markets. So I would assume this is to me, this is a confirmed breakout, continuation, to the upside. And we're just waiting for, the Fed meeting and a couple other earnings. This one is on standby, but it is going to rip. That's what I believe. And we'll see. I have calls on this for December and January, and I'm targeting these zones up top here. Everywhere from my targets on this 520 to 600. I probably will not hold until 600 because big numbers like that tend to be psychological barriers in the market. People sell before it hits. Around 585 is my long-term target, but my short-term is 520. I think we can hit 520 probably by the end of this month. We just need to see things start to improve in terms of, government shutdowns and, this China situation and all the anxiety. And maybe we'll get a nice Santa rally this year compared to what Jerome Powell did to us last year. So many people got rug pulled that last, it was like either November or December, probably December. Yeah, it was ugly. People were really pissed. But this year I learned my lesson. I had made a decent chunk of profits last year, but I was too leveraged at the end of the year. It was the holiday season and nobody saw this Jerome Powell thing coming. And I got stopped out of all my positions, all of them. I had to do it. So that's just the way it is, because you will lose all of it if you hold on to options that are not going to hit their target. So this year, I'm bullish, but I am cautiously bullish, and we will monitor how the market is reacting. That is the important thing. And it doesn't hurt to hedge if you are a little bit anxious about the market, but you got to ask yourself, am I anxious because I bought too much of this stock, or am I anxious because the setup is not good? So you got to, be honest with yourself about that. Just a little bit of trading psychology, and I really want to roll out a psychology video for you guys, really in depth, but I haven't seen any comments about anybody requesting it. Everybody wants a Tesla video. So I gave you guys a Tesla video, and maybe the options trading strategy. I tried to record it the other day and did not come out well, so I have to re-record that for you. Anyway, next one up is Gap, the Gap Inc. And ironically, the Gap Inc. has a big gap up here. So this is my target to fill up to 2781. That's the long-term target. But the short-term target that I am in a swing trade for, in a swing trade now, is these levels here, 23 to 24. I'm not targeting a big move, but it also depends on the expiry. I think we could get this 10% move within a week or two if the market picks up. And we have popped above the EMAs. You have your first one above the 21, and you have your confirmation. This one for me is a no-brainer trade, and if you look at how it's behaved in the past, March to today, it's just chopping in this range. So how can I not buy it at the bottom? All it has to do is just come back up to the top of the range, and it's instant money. But the thing I am watching for out on this trade, again, gotta ask myself where I'm wrong, is if we break this yellow trend line, I am out of the trade. So I'm giving it a 8% risk to make at least 26%. And I really like these odds on Gap. This is actually, I don't know much about the company, but considering just the chart, I really like it. This one looks very good. And I believe there were some options flow on it. I need to get some screenshots for that. So here's a little fun fact. I started this channel just a month ago, and it's been really fun, to be honest. I am super hyped about this. It started off as a project, just a personal experiment. I was just going to do a faceless YouTube channel and just pull up some charts and just do the analysis. And then I was like, maybe I can spice this up and make it a little bit more interesting. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there that they have really good content, but they're either they don't give you enough education, and there's usually a paywall like, hey, you follow me and I hype you up about the stocks I like, but you got to buy my course or buy my indicator. And I was like, I just want to have a channel where I can teach swing trading just using price action and just like basic indicators like EMAs, just like finding gaps, finding your pivot points, your support and your resistance, and maybe make it fun. So 800 subscribers in about 5 weeks. Pretty good traction. I am really excited. If you guys have any suggestions, if you want any topics covered that you feel would be beneficial, this channel for me is all about education. I trade anyway. I just want to, share some of what I know with people, because I spent a lot of money on crappy courses and signed up with these mentors and chat rooms, and they were just awful. I saw people losing money. I lost money. And then when I learned new methods and changed the way I trade, I just figured like the best trading is just keeping it simple. Just watch your levels, watch where they react, price action, and use these EMAs for confirmation. That's the majority of the trades I do, but I have a lot of different setups for different market conditions and depending on how the stock is trading. The thing I love about trading is you're playing detective. It's just looking for all these clues. Anybody just looks at this, you're like, oh, it's just a chart, but this is a story of the human psychology on the market of this stock. So there is a story behind every chart. Once you understand the story and you filter out the noise, you start to do really well. All right, next up I have, this is my last pick, and I'm going to mention two that I had to cut. This is a BABA, and not only is the chart really amazing, we had this big move to the upside, we had a pullback, and we came back above the 21 and the 13 and 21 EMA, and we have our 50 EMA below for support. This is looking really sweet in my opinion, and not only that, if we get some kind of news this week, next week, even a couple weeks out about improvements in the trade relations between the US and China, these are going to explode to the upside. It's just, they have to. Well, nothing is guaranteed, but I think with high probability because like I said, you have a great chart forming here, and you get a news catalyst on top of that, and this thing will just go ballistic to the upside. And that's why I think, I bought like options on this, I believe 2 months out. I think 2 months is enough to give it wiggle room to get up at least to the 203. 203 should not be so hard. You just get a little bounce off of here, you're in the money. And next target, 216. I don't know if I marked another one, but I think if I catch a nice 17, 16, 17, 18% move using options, this one could print. But of course, we got to see how conditions are unfolding in the market and how these stocks are behaving and what their price action is. But right now, I really like it. We got a support level down here, and if I ask myself, where am I wrong? It is down here. This comes down between the 159, or even I could loosen it up a bit more down to the 50 EMA. If we come down to the 50 EMA, this trade is off. But right now, really excited about this one. Let me know what you guys think about Alibaba in the comments. Two, I had to cut, and this one here, Oracle, is just proof that even a plus setup that looks great to you can still fail. I always remind people of that, remind myself of that. You had I'm still recovering from that cold. It's crazy. You start a YouTube channel and you get super excited and you catch a cold and lose your voice for a whole week. But I'm feeling better and I'm back. So that's the good news. Anyway, on Oracle, if you zoom out, you'll see that we had this huge move to the upside. And can you have like that also? Another, what looks like a bull flag. Not the perfect bull flag, but it is a flag pattern. And what happened is once we broke out here, this was my entry, and then the second one came in green. That was my confirmation, but it ended up being either a fake signal or I think it was news driven. There was some kind of news related. I'm not sure. But this thing, once it came back down, I said, this is my line in the sand. If it comes back into the channel and breaks the EMAs, I'm out. I should have stopped out the previous day, but I held on because it was technically still holding this support zone and these EMAs, but it broke through today. It held. Maybe it's going to bounce from here and go back up, continue the uptrend. But for me, a stop is a stop. So I would rather take what's left of this trade and put it into something else. And that's, I opened BABA today. I think that's where I moved the capital. Last but not least, AMD. AMD has been amazing to trade if you caught the breakout here. Also, very similar. You had this resistance zone. Once you go through it, it flies, especially you get news on top of it. And now you got a nice smiley face on you, and your life is great. We got up here. This is where I took my first, where I sold first, and then I took a second entry. I took a second entry off this bounce here. See, we came up, we rejected, we came back down, we started bouncing. Got 2 candles here holding. I took a small long, and it came back up. I made about 60% off of this one. The big one I made money on was bottom here all the way to the top. That was, I don't remember off the top of my head, at least 350, 400%. Really good trade. I think it still has more to go up to this fib level up here at 259. But I think I've gotten enough out of this one, and I decided to rotate that money into something else. All right, guys, so that wraps up the list. You can follow me on X if you want midday updates. I do drop a lot of charts and share my thoughts throughout the day. I actually didn't even have this X account. I started it when I lost my voice for a week. I figured I still want to start, keep communicating and see what other traders are thinking, get my thoughts across to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get this channel growing, guys.